All right, so you want to know if trading your 401k for a pirate's treasure chest is a solid retirement plan.
Sounds a little risky when you put it like that.
Well, that's why we're diving into this gold IRA thing today. Specifically this pamphlet, and I do mean pamphlet, from Gold IRA Blueprint, IRA Rollover to Gold, the best way to protect your retirement. Sure. But they might have some good points mixed in with the sales pitch, right?
Right. We're going to sift through the gold nuggets and see if there's any actual treasure buried here.
Love that.
Yeah.
And they definitely start by appealing to our, shall we say, more fantastical financial instincts. You know, security, stability, something real in this crazy market.
Casual assets, yeah, I get it.
Like, who hasn't dreamt of retiring on a throne of gold bars, be honest?
It's a classic image. Historically speaking, gold has been seen as this safe haven against inflation, empires crumbling, the whole 9 yards.
Right, like it's been around forever.
Exactly. But, and this is a big but, what worked for pharaohs doesn't mean it's the right move for your 401k. Past performance is not a crystal ball.
Okay, good point. So ditch the eye patch and parrot for now. But let's say someone is interested in this whole gold IRA thing. What's the process even look like?
Well, this article lays out 3 main methods for rolling over your traditional IRA into the glimmering gold equivalent, but the common thread they all share: talking to a financial advisor.
They really hammer that point home, don't they?
And for good reason. This isn't something you just DIY on the weekend. We're talking very specific IRS rules, potential tax implications. It can get messy fast.
Yeah, you don't want the IRS showing up to your retirement party.
Exactly. Best to leave this to the professionals.
Speaking of professionals, one thing that's noticeably absent is any mention of fees. They talk about choosing a reputable provider like it's going out of style, but not how much that reputation is going to cost you.
Right. It's like they're recommending a fancy restaurant but forgetting to tell you there's no menu prices, account maintenance, storage fees, even selling the gold later. Those all factor in.
It's not just the price of gold you got to worry about. It's the whole ecosystem around it.
Exactly. And those costs can eat into your returns faster than you'd think.
So you got to be savvy, not just swayed by the shine. And speaking of shine, they toss out all these different ways to invest. Bullion, ETFs, mining shares. Like, how's the average person supposed to know where to even begin?
Well, that's where, surprise, surprise, a financial advisor proves their worth. It's not one size fits all. Bullion is your classic gold bars, very satisfying to hold, I'm sure. But then you've got storage fees, liquidity issues.
It's not like you can just stuff it under your mattress.
Not recommended. ETFs are more like buying into a gold-backed fund. Less glamorous, but often more practical. And then mining shares, that's a whole other beast. You're betting on the companies, not just the gold itself.
So many factors. And this article kind of just breezes over all that with a choose what's best for your goals.
It's the oldest trick in the book. Acknowledge the complexity without actually wanting to explain it.
So what's our takeaway there? You got to push for details.
Don't be afraid to grill that financial advisor. This is your retirement on the line, not just a casual conversation about the weather.
Right. Don't let the allure of gold make you passive in the process. And speaking of grilling, this whole reputable provider thing, they harp on it constantly. Licensing, track record, customer service. What else are they missing?
Important, yes, but they gloss over some key things. Transparency and fees being a big one. How are they structuring their pricing? And if you're going for physical gold, where is it being stored? Fort Knox or your brother-in-law's basement?
Hopefully with better locks than my brother-in-law's basement. That's all I'm saying.
Precisely. Big questions that need answers.
And what about actually selling the gold down the line? They mention it, but how easy is it really to turn those gold bars back into cash when you need them? They make it sound as simple as, oh, just sell it or use it for goods and services. Like, am I really going to walk into the grocery store and pay for milk with a gold nugget?
I wouldn't recommend it. Market conditions, the form your gold's in, even the dealer you choose, it all impacts how easily you can cash out.
And don't forget those lovely tax implications. They sort of just mentioned talking to a financial advisor for a smooth liquidation process.
It all sounds very vague, don't you think?
Incredibly vague. It's like they're intentionally avoiding the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. Don't mistake a sales pitch for a comprehensive guide. We're talking about your retirement. Go beyond the brochure and start asking the hard questions.
It's like they're handing out these rose-colored glasses with every gold IRA starter kit.
And hoping you don't notice the cracks in the pavement, right?
Exactly. Retirement planning shouldn't be about chasing fantasies. It's about making smart, realistic choices.
Precisely. And part of that is understanding the full picture, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And speaking of potentially ugly, they do have a section on risks, but it's shockingly short.
Very much an afterthought, it seems. Like a, oh yeah, by the way, disclaimer.
They mentioned gold value fluctuating, sure, but are they really acknowledging how volatile things can get?
Right, like remember the 80s. Gold prices peaked and then basically took a nosedive for years. Imagine needing to cash out during that downturn.
Yikes. So much for a safe haven.
Exactly. And this is where diversification comes in. The article's laser focused on gold, but a balanced retirement plan usually involves spreading that risk around.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially if that basket is literally made of gold.
It gets heavy. Stocks, bonds, real estate. You want a mix that can weather the storms.
So gold could be part of the plan, but not the whole enchilada.
Well said.
Okay, so we've established gold isn't a guaranteed ticket to Easy Street. It's got its own baggage. But this